At Retrovision, we know exactly what you want, like our lowest price guarantee, buy now and pay later, and an extra 5% discount for RAC members. That's on top of all the latest tech from the world's best brands at Retrovision.
A lot more secure in the right, pushing forward.
Bad shot here, boys, and we start a roll here. One bad shot to open the door here, boys. Come on, lad.
Yep, one bad shot is going to bring Faf du Plessis in, mate. Yeah, Faf du Plessis just got 100. Pretty good form, Bernie.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show, proudly brought to you by Retrovision, ESA Sports and Everlast Sports Drinks. We're at another club tonight. We're at the Mandurah Cricket Club tonight. So as you can probably hear with the noise in the background, it's Thursday night, it's training night, selection night. We've got kids running around everywhere. It's real great family atmosphere. And it's just great to be around at a cricket club. The Pavilion, we're here every week, and new to things this year, for those hopefully that listened last week, we're also on Sport FM on 91.3 Sport FM on a Saturday morning between 8 and 9. So it's a real big move here for the association. My name is Orazio Santalucia, and I'm your host this week and every week, and you get to hear my voice all over the place. Okay, sitting next to me here, we have Ned Ingle. Now, Ned's obviously a member of the Mandurah Cricket Club, but he's also leading the organising of a big celebration around the place, and it's the centenary of the club. I might have said 125 around the trap, so done me. So, Ned, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Orazio.
100 years. I mean, you know, for a club to be 100 years old, it's a big achievement, and that means like a lot of people have done a lot of work throughout 100 years of its history. 1923, you were saying the club was formed?
That's right.
So what you've been digging through the archives, I guess. What sort of interesting stuff have you found?
Oh, Orazio, well, we've had a long history starting off a long time ago. I think our first oval was actually where the council offices are in Mandurah.
Okay. Wow.
And from what I've read, they had to move because the oval got flooded. And then we've had numerous moves since that time. Reports that there were some games played on Hall Park in Mandurah.
Wow.
We had a long period at Rushton Park,
Yep.
which was awesome. We love that ground at Rushton Park.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that was built in the 50s. And then we had a period where we moved across to Halls Head at Peel Parade and shared the oval with Halls Head.
Yep.
That hurt us a little bit. We didn't like that. And then we had our training at Coodnup High School. So that was a bit of a hard time. And then moving across here, I think in the sort of late 2010, around that time.
Is that recent? Okay.
Yeah, Meadow Springs. And just been awesome. We've got the best facility here, and now the club's sort of going from strength to strength. So we're so excited about, the 100 years. It's a huge thing, and we've had people, we're just really looking forward to seeing all the old faces and guys that have played, but also the guys we've played against. We've got a good connection with some of the old guys. They come to a lot of our functions at the end of the year, so we're really excited about it.
That's awesome. So, I mean, digging that history, where have you found? I mean, has it sort of been like in the back of someone's garage? Some people have got it. I mean, the library, I guess, would have some stuff. The council may have some stuff, but
yeah, I actually work at the council.
Oh, there you go.
The chap from the museum there actually looked through some of the old archives and sent me through some stuff. And there's some books around the Murray Mandurah region that have got some interesting stuff in there.
Yep.
And Justin Solly, our president, he's got a whole heap of old minutes and scorebooks and everything, old kit, you name it, it's all there. So we've been trawling through all that, and actually Justin's been putting a lot of the old scorebooks on the Facebook to go through. So that's been great. A lot of the old
I've
guys,
seen that that page is sort of floating around the old games and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, so that's been good because I've been going through and marking up all the old names that I used to play with and make sure that I tag them in the Facebook for the event. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
That's fantastic. So what's one of the most interesting things you've dug up? Like, moving around the ground. I mean, to have a cricket ground where the council offices are now, I can't imagine it. But I mean, it obviously happened. But what's one of the most interesting things you've dug up?
Oh, gee, you put me on the spot now. Oh, look, I think, to be honest, I think that time at Rushton Park, I think just from memory, I mean, I played there for a while, but that was just a real hub of activity. And I remember when I played, a lot of the old guys, the tradies, on a Saturday would finish work and then drop in on the way back and have a drink and watch a bit of the cricket. And on the steps there at Rushton Park, and that was just such a great time. And being based at the footy club there was just really awesome.
So was it on the outside ground or the main oval?
They had it on the main oval for a short period, but the majority of it was on the north oval. Yeah, so it was sort of in a bowl there. It was awesome, little short boundaries, but the wicket did a little bit, so it was good.
It's a wanted ground, that one. I mean, obviously, for those that know, like the Mandurah Mustangs have obviously got their challenges, having to sort of share and all that sort of stuff. And they're a club that's very old as well. They'd be neck and neck with you guys, but from what I believe, you guys win. You are the oldest, and they're in the conversation, but not quite. Yeah,
there's some old articles, and I think we've got 1923 on our hats, but there is little bits and pieces of information that show that there was perhaps games played earlier. And I know Pinjarra, obviously, I think I saw on theirs it's like the 1870s, so I think that they've been around as well, a long time as well. So, but yeah, it's been a really important club, and I think I've played nearly 38 years.
Jeez.
I've had a few seasons off, and I've gone away and come back at different stages. But I started playing juniors there, and we just love it here. And now the club's just going so well. We've got 4 grades, and we've got the women's team, and we've got the integrated team. Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, no, I think it's one of the great things of the club, and sort of highlights one of the great things about the competition here. We've got clubs that are thinking outside the box and wanting to be inclusive of the whole community. So the fact that there's an integrated team here, and you probably I don't know who started, because you've got obviously Warnbro and Secret Harbour doing an integrated program, and hopefully we're going to get more clubs doing it, which I think is great. And for you guys, I mean, I'm presuming here, I'm talking for you, but it'd be one of the prouder things that you guys would be doing at this club, I would have thought. No doubt. Look, I mean, I've had years off, but when I went away and I came back, and just the whole vibe of the club, it's just such a positive and inclusive environment. The families, the girls, everything's just going in the right direction. A lot of people helping. It's so awesome. Yeah, but the more people you have, the more help you have as well. Yeah, that's for sure. And, I just see so many people, taking on little roles and helping out, and it's really going from strength to strength, which is just awesome. Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So we're here with Ned Ingle, who's leading the organising committee, I guess, for the celebrations of the centenary of the Mandurah Cricket Club. So what's some of the festive stuff you'll be doing this year? Well, we're planning the event on the 18th of February. So we're sort of trying to get ahead of the game a little bit and give people plenty of time. So we put posts up on Facebook just to give people a bit of notice. But the idea is we've got a game against Hall's Head here at Meadow Springs. And we're going to try and start off the day at about 3 o'clock and try and get the guys down, the older guys down, and watch a bit of the cricket. And then hopefully everyone can come back from the other grounds, and we're going to start sort of kicking off functions at about 7:15. And so we've got, because John Wiley's young bloke, obviously Teague, is playing for WA at the moment. So I've texted him, and if he can, I'm hoping he's going to be able to come along and do a bit of Q&A. And we'll have a bit of fun with some stories, and really try and reminisce a little bit. I'm hoping to get a bit of a memorabilia sort of table together where some of the old stuff we can bring out. And also I'm trying to set up a folder where all the guys can load up all their old photos and things. So you can get in there, we can all get in there and have a bit of a reminisce about all the old photos and stuff. And I'll just throw this out there. There is some talk of perhaps a world record attempt on the day as well. Okay. Yeah, so I'll leave that as a curiosity, but yeah, we are planning a
That's
world.
a bit of a mic drop on that one there. I'm just leaving that one there. World record attempt. We got the Guinness Book of Records coming
Yes.
out and all that sort of stuff. We're going to have the official. Geez, wow!
Yes,
You heard it here first, exclusive here
Yeah.
on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show.
Yeah.
So Ned, I mean that sounds so exciting, and it must be to be the one sort of leading it with 38 years behind you. I mean, you got a third of them. You got more than a third of the how good's my maths of the years behind you. You've got obviously the Wiley family is synonymous with this place, but what are some of the other names that sort of are synonymous with Mandurah Cricket Club?
Look, there's Jack and Inky Dodd, the Dodd family, Andrew Dodd. They've played many, many, many years here. The Baxters, Ted Baxter, Chris Baxter, Rick Nielsen, Greg Andrews, all these guys, quite a few of them are life members.
Yep.
And it's great because at the end of the year they come along. But yeah, obviously John and his family have just been incredible for this club, and their names on the grandstand here. So yeah,
which is amazing. And then it's the obvious, but you've got his two siblings that are out there, doing their stuff and representing the state proudly. And I see how it all works, and I see how proud everyone is, because you've got two members or two. Well, no, they are current members still, really, I guess, of the club, and they come back all the time, and they proudly portray their Mandurah heritage, and every one of you are behind them the whole way too, which is awesome,
Yeah, I've actually got a great. I think there's a video going around of Teague when he might have been 10. I think he won the bowling averages for the F grade, and I think he wrote out a little speech to when he got his award.
Yeah.
No, he's great, and he came to our AGM, and he's such a great part of the club, and his family's just been unbelievable. I remember going back many years ago, we were on our knees, we were really struggling, we had no money, and I think John's mum arranged a sausage sizzle for us to do at the Mandurah Forum, and we managed to raise a whole heap of money out of that and basically bailed us out of our situation. So yeah,
that's what community clubs are all about. That's community, and that's what we're about here. I think one of the things I've noted since I've been part of the Peel Cricket Association, now I'm president for my sins, is the collegiality, I guess, and the real community feel. Every club is a real part of their community. And even the fact that, okay, you might be rivals on the pitch, but come off the pitch, everyone helps everyone out. If there was a club struck, people would be on the phone, be helping everyone out. And the fact that you said that, like you got Hall's Head, who are probably one of your big rivals, they're going to be part of this sort of thing. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, well, I think that's what we really hope, is that when the messages go out, that it's not just for the guys that have played for Mandurah, because over the years, we've spent a lot of time with, guys from Waroona and Pinjarra and Hall's Head and South Mandurah and other places, and I hope that they'll come down, because we've had some great times with them as well, and a lot of fun stories and stuff.
Well, you've also got the link with the Harvey Murray League and stuff like that. So you've got Harvey Cricket Club, and then there's clubs that aren't here with us anymore. Surely there's people that were part of those clubs that are going to come out of the woodwork from somewhere.
And of course, obviously, I know Country Week's changed a little bit now. A lot of guys played a lot of cricket together with Country Cup and Country Week and those sort of things, and they're probably some of the best times that I've had as well.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Okay, so you've got that big. So are there any other little bits and bobs happening throughout the year, like little drip here, drip there?
I think, we're trying to get some merchandise together.
Yep.
So, and I know Stewie Parker, I think he's trying to work on a bit of a logo change for the centenary year. So, so that's sort of going on. And I know we've got a heap of other functions. So sort of in the lead up, we'll get ready for that. And we're trying to invite, some of the people, some of the elected members and things to come along and make it a real special occasion. It's a big deal for us,
100%.
Doesn't come around very often. So we're really excited.
And look, you've got a very active council, in regard to like support of sports clubs. I mean, with Club Connect and the City Mandurah, I mean, professionally, I've done a fair bit of work with them. You couldn't get better support. So I dare say if you put the invite out. The mayor would probably be here and stuff like that because they really support clubs and they've done some really good stuff here with you guys.
Oh, this facility is just off the charts. You know,
Yep.
I remember we had Jeff Thompson came and did a talk here one night, and he sort of said, he goes, I've been around the place, but he goes, I haven't seen much better than this. So yeah,
Yep.
we're very, very lucky. And last year we paid this off, our loan off on this ground from when we moved in. So
Yep.
we had a big celebration last year because that was our end of
Yep.
our loan that we had
Yep.
to pay. So
Well, that's fantastic. And they're the sort of things that you do as a club. You dig in, everyone digs in and does your bit and all that sort of stuff. That's fantastic. Look, Ned, that's great. It's really exciting that there's going to be some things. And so I guess the message for everyone is just keep a lookout on the socials. Mandurah Cricket Club, they're pretty active on their social media page at Facebook, even on Instagram. You'll see information on what's coming up and all that sort of stuff. And if you get a chance on the 18th of Feb, you got nothing else on, come on down here to Meadow Springs. Beautiful ground, 18th of Feb. The weather will be perfect. It'll be magnificent out there in the Wiley stand, having a beverage and a feed and whatever, and just be part of what's pretty special for, well, obviously the cricket club, but obviously and the association as well. So look, Ned, thanks a lot and good luck with it all.
Yeah, thanks for letting us get it out there, and
Not a problem.
Really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Okay, so we'll head to a breakdown. We'll head to our first ad, Retrovision ad. Remember Retrovision, where you save more every day. And if you're an RAC member, you get an extra 5% off. They've got the 60-day price promise and lowest price guaranteed. So why would you shop anywhere else? This is the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show. We'll be back after this.
RAC members get exclusive deals and offers, plus an extra 5% off on top of our lowest price guarantee at Retrovision.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show. We're recording this live from Mandurah Cricket Club here at Meadow Springs. Remember, we are amazingly supported by our three major partners here. So we've got Retrovision. You just heard the ad there, 5% off for RAC members, off their already low prices. So anything for electrical goods, white goods, anything like that, you've got to go to Retrovision. ESA Sport, make every sporting moment epic. Professional sports coaching, custom designed apparel and teamwear. I mean, all clubs are sort of looking for that sort of stuff. Memorabilia, so think about your raffles and stuff like that. If you want some really good prizes, ESA Sports are going to be able to help you out there. And also venturing into the promotional collateral, so things like pop-up marquee and those flags and stuff like that. Johnny Sanders there at ESA Sport will look after you there, but they also distribute Everlast Sports Drinks. Everlast Sports Drinks, you want to beat the heat and stay hydrated this year. So every club should have these in their fridges. Order your Everlast Sports Drinks today from ESA Sports. They're called Johnny Sanders, and they've got some good deals there. The best part about it, it's a 750 ml bottle rather than the 600 that their competitors do. So more value, better price. Get some Everlast in the fridges. Okay, we're still talking all things Mandurah here, and this guy to my left, probably you're right as you're seeing it here, synonymous with this club. John Wiley, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rats. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Not a problem. Thanks for sparing some time. Now, John, your family's got like a big footprint here with this club. Look, we know about the kids. Look, we'll leave them to the side, but they get enough sort of highlights and all that sort of stuff. We'll focus on this guy and his family. So before I go any further, how many of your lot have played cricket, not only here but in this competition? Because like nearly the Wiley footprint's pretty big.
Yeah. Well, I've got two brothers, so there's three of us. We all played at Mandurah.
Yep.
I've got a cousin, Daryl, who was a very good cricketer in his own right. And I've got, obviously, Georgia and Teague.
Yep.
They both played at Mandurah. And I think I had an uncle that might have played here. Uncle Rob played here many years ago as well. So there's 6 or 7 of us floating around somewhere.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's a big footprint. And you've been part of cricket in the Peel region, and you've seen it all evolve. So I mean, the Peel Cricket Association still, it's a relatively new competition in the whole scheme of things. But if you go way back to the 60s, where it was the Harvey Murray League, and you were sort of part of that. Well, I guess the end of that sort of era.
Yeah, look, I didn't play in the 60s.
No. I know that. I know that. I was being.
Even though a lot of people might thought I did.
Well, some of your mates over there might be saying that.
They were my mates. No, I first played juniors here in about 76 or 77. I was only a young fella, about 8 then. And then progressed into the seniors, probably 82, around there, something like that.
Yep.
With the two brothers and the cousin, we all ended up playing A grade at Mandurah for a while. And that was all in the Harvey Murray, and that all sort of evolved. Well, Harvey Murray, for some reason, I think there was personalities from some clubs who didn't get on. So I think what happened then was that all the Mandurah, Pinjarra, Waroona guys all started a new competition called the Rockingham Mandurah cricket competition, and Harvey Murray still functioned. But actually, I think Waroona and Pinjarra might have still played in the Harvey Murray one to start with. And that was the Rockingham Mandurah one was probably around for a couple of seasons. There was probably only a couple of grades, so there wasn't a lot of sides playing cricket. And then that sort of outcome, the Rocky Mandurah one morphed into Peel probably around 91, 92, something like that.
Yep.
And I remember when we started, there was only two. I think there was only two. There was an A and a B grade.
Yep.
I think the A grade had like 4 sides in it, and the B grade was probably the same. I remember when Mandurah actually were part of it, they actually had in the A grade they had 2 sides in A grade in the 14 comp, and they had the B grade as well. So obviously the comp's come a fair way since then.
Yeah. Well, that's and that's good, and that's I mean that's the way it is, and then it goes in waves and all that sort of stuff. So are there clubs that well, I guess don't exist anymore that you remember playing against, sort of thing?
Back in the day, in the Harvey Murray Cup, I was actually speaking to Rob Marshall, who's the chairman of the WA Country Cricket Board recently, and he's from Harvey, and he said when he first started playing down Harvey, there was like 5 sides or something like that playing in Harvey itself, which is amazing because it's such a tiny town.
Yeah.
And he was going through. There was Juduck, and there was a few others as well. And
they're all based around farms, though. Those sort of So because each farm, I guess, before modernisation and industrialisation, they all had physical people doing physical work. So a farm would have a cricket team, pretty much, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Well, there's even a town like Yarloop.
Yeah.
Which there's not too many people there now. They had a cricket team.
Yeah.
And I think the Thomases. I think Tommy Thomas actually originally played for them. They're a famous Waroona family. So look, and there's probably a few sides. I think there was South Coastals as well, and there was Coastals. I think they eventually morphed into Hall's Head.
Oh, okay.
Very strong club, and I think there's probably a couple from Rockingham way as well. So I think you had Rockingham footballers. That was a side, and I think Safety Bay no longer there, and there's a couple others maybe like Karana and. One or 2 others that no longer exist, for whatever reason.
Yeah. Oh well, I mean, again, it's not, but it's the way things work. Populations change and all that sort of stuff. So what are some of the? I mean, there'd be many, but what are some of the real highlights that you remember? And I mean, there's the obvious ones, I guess, would be premierships and stuff like that. But are there like real moments where you just think, you know what, I bloody love this club? Like,
yeah, probably go back to I think playing with 2 brothers and a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, you probably don't think it as being special, but when you're 30 years down the track, think, geez, that was pretty good.
Yeah,
it was a pretty good feeling to play with those guys. Might have played in a premiership with Woolloola. I can't remember; it was that long ago. Obviously, the premierships are special, and when you play for Peel or whatever it was, and you're lucky enough to play in the WACA and A grade country league final, and you might win the odd one, and just stuff like that was really special. Well, I think the best thing for me was just the mates you make. I think the best part about playing at a cricket club or any sporting club is the friends you make. Probably most of my best mates are all played here.
Part of the club, yep. So that's fantastic, and I mean you hear all the time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If it's not here, it's one of the other grounds. You've popped in. I mean, where I might have been doing some of this or commentating. You've been there. It's just amazing, and to be entrenched in a club and in a zone and in an area is really special, I think.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I still like a lot of and hang around a lot of the guys from the club.
Yep.
I think last year we went down and saw the T20 on the Tuesday night, and freezing cold Tuesday down at Peel.
Yeah,
You
I do
know,
that every Tuesday, and it's bloody
Yeah,
cold every Tuesday.
yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, so hopefully that continues. You know, I said, as you know, our family's had a long affiliation with the club,
Yep.
and hopefully it continues for a little bit more.
Oh, well, you hope so. You hope so. Talk about the. I mean, it's your family, I guess. The stand. Is it? Or you're not going to take all the plaudits. It's the Wiley family. The stand, or is it named after you?
Well,
or?
it is the John Wiley stand, but I think the family's obviously played a big part in that. If you
Yeah.
particularly Marnie, you know, if I don't have a great support, like she was a cricket widow for so
Yeah.
long, and when I met her, she hated cricket. Didn't know the first thing about it. But her attitude was, well, if I,
She hates it even more now.
yeah, probably. Her attitude was, look, if you can't beat them, join them. And now she actually will sit down and watch a cricket game, whereas years ago she would never do that. So
Yeah.
obviously the kids learn all their junior cricket here, and you know they started under 10s, whatever it was, on the Friday night.
Yep.
But even probably before that, even back when I was playing all those years ago, they would still drag along to the cricket, and
Yep.
they'd bring a bat and a ball and terrorise everyone down there. Particularly T, can you throw a ball at me? So yeah, I mean, yeah.
He still does that.
Oh yeah. Luckily he lives in Perth now. But yeah, no, I've just been very lucky. The families, you know, I was lucky I had parents that would take me to cricket. You know, there's a lot of kids had more ability than me that mum and dad wouldn't take me to cricket and they missed out. But
Yeah.
fortunately, my mum and dad would, not just cricket, it was footy as well. They would run you around, and they would, not just us, but other kids as well.
Yep. But you're saying how you know your kids have grown up here, and I guess you know you were a young boy that grew up within a cricket club.
Yep.
It's still a very healthy place to be, isn't it? I mean, you know, I mean they can't do too much wrong running around on an oval all day. You know, you give them a ball and a bat, and off they go, and you got a whole bunch of babysitters, really.
Yeah, well, it's funny, when I was about 14, 15, we were playing in the Harvey Murray, then we would go down obviously to Harvey, and we used to have not a big blue bus, a little blue bus, and Mum would drop us off at the Mandarin Footy Club where we used to meet up, and then we'd drive down there, or the adults would drive down, and Mum would say, okay, boys, we'll see you about 7:30. And a couple of the older guys like Pinky Dodd and Jack Dodd and Greg Andrews, three blokes, they would say, oh, no worries, Mrs. Wiley, we have them home around then. Anyway, 9 o'clock would come around, 10 o'clock would come around, and get home at about 11 o'clock, and Mum's not pleased, but there was no harm done. It was just, we would, generally back then, you would call into the pub for a beer, and you'd meet some of the older blokes, not just from your team, but from the opposition, and it was, I got fantastic memories. You know, like I was talking about Tommy Thomas before, just meeting guys like him, and a guy from Harvey called Doc Manning, one of the quickest country bowlers you've ever seen. You know, you think you play against this bloke, you think he wants to kill you, but one of the most lovely people you ever meet. You know, just stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure a lot of that happens now.
Nah, it is a different time, but I mean, you know, we also we want to see it back and all that sort of stuff. But I just think as a community, we've all just evolved. It's just all different, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. And back then, probably
you didn't have as much. Well, you didn't have mobiles. I mean, that's. I mean, you know, you think getting home at 11 o'clock when you should have been home at 7. You know, you would have had 30 messages on your phone and all that sort of stuff. Whereas,
Mum used to ring the footy club, with the boys back yet? And she'd get in about 11 o'clock, and she wasn't overly pleased. But I think deep down she didn't mind, because growing up at a sporting club is one of the best things you can do, I think.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Okay, look, we've got to go there. You got two you know, amazing kids, Georgia and Teague, that are playing for WA, and Georgia's running around with the Scorchers in the squad at the moment. Look, it must be awesome. You know, you think of the hard yard. You know, you and Marnie were doing under 10s and or whatever it was called back then, the junior stuff. You know, 7 in the morning on a Saturday here, and then going over there, and then here, there, and everywhere. And then I know, because I've been part of you know, George's background a little bit, so up and down to the WACA for, you know, specific state stuff. And
yeah, well, we're a bit lucky, because it started on us for a Friday night. It might have been under 10s, and Georgia was a girl, she could play a couple of years back then.
Yep.
And there was no girls team, so she was playing the Mandarin under 10. So Teague was about 8 or 9. So we were fortunate they could play together.
Yep.
And then that turned into Saturday mornings, and you know, they played a year or two there. And then fortunately, I suppose Teague went up to Rocky Mandurah, and unfortunately, I suppose, didn't play a lot of juniors or seniors at Mandurah. And then as it sort of come along, there's been more girls teams come. So
Yep.
Georgia was she went up to South Perth.
Yep.
She's playing up there. Unfortunately, Rocky Mandra didn't have an A grade then, so she was sort of forced to go to South Perth, which was more miles in the car for
Yep.
us. But, you do it for your kids, and
Yeah.
hopefully they turn out all right.
Yeah, and look, you got two lovely kids. Like I said, I've been lucky enough to have a little bit of an involvement with Georgia back in the day, and to see her and some of the other girls that were around in those difficult early days. We'd travel all over Australia to go and play state cricket, and
I remember you were coaching them down at
get a bit of a
Hobart, wasn't it?
yeah.
Under 15s.
get a bit of a touch up most games, but
But they enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I think most of those girls will still be playing that you coached.
a lot of them are.
Back in the 15s, which
Yeah.
is fantastic to see.
Yeah, a lot of them are, and that's good to see. And then obviously Teague, part of a terrific win as we record this. WA won a fantastic win yesterday on a very sporting whacker wicket. To see the comeback from the brink, really, because they were gone.
They were gone.
Yeah.
At 6 for not many, I think it just shows what a good player, or good players, Cartwright and RDR.
Yeah.
Just to score runs, have that partnership where hardly anyone else could score. It was. They're good players.
Oh, 100%.
Cartwright's played Test cricket, and I think Hardy's every chance to play in the future. So.
Yep.
Yeah, WA cricket's in a good spot.
Yep.
We were talking before. They've probably got 2 or 3 30-year-olds. The rest are relatively young, so so they're going to be strong for a while.
Yeah, it's been a sweet spot. I mean, even in my time there, when these guys were coming through, everyone knew that this was a really amazing crop of players coming through. From your Parises to your Turners to your Hardys now. I mean, although he's younger, Cartwright, Sammy Whiteman, all that group coming through. That was just, some of the best planning. Sometimes just luck, and I think there's a big element of it. It's just luck. You've just got this core group of players. They've all come through together. They've celebrated success, with the Scorchers, which has been a big part of it, I think, too. It's just an amazing time. And to see that win yesterday, I thought was pretty special.
Yeah, Teague was pretty happy, I think. He was, I think they were celebrating somewhere in Perth, and I think he's a bit dusty this morning, but he was happy.
Well, that's a WA tradition. You celebrate your success.
Yes.
And for him, I guess, again, as we record this, he's gone, as you mentioned, just offline. He's gone from, chocolates to boiled lollies, but that's cricket. He's century a couple of weeks ago to, not many, but he wasn't on his Pat Malone in this game. I mean, when you got some of the test stars of world cricket in Khawaja and, Khawaja had an okay one, but Labuschagne, couldn't hit it off the square.
That's cricket.
Yeah, 100%. And he's probably facing as good an attack as going around. I mean, I think they're probably the two best teams in it. I think Queensland and WA.
Yeah, on a very sporting wicket.
Yeah.
It was tough going, and the scores reflected that, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. But it's great to see. Okay, so look, where to now? Like, I mean, you see the club is celebrating its centenary and all that sort of stuff, and you've probably seen it. As Ned mentioned, like the club was on its. Every club goes through this, but was in a really tough spot. Not that long ago to where it is now, where it's thriving and it's got integrated and women's and young girls and all sorts of stuff happening and teams in every comp. And
well, many years ago, Mandurah was based at Rushton Park.
Yep.
On Rushton Park North, and a fantastic facility. And then the council chose to pull that out because of football, and then they put it over at Peelwood. And after that time, Mandurah probably suffered a fair bit. Mandurah was probably the strongest club going around. And a few years after that, they probably got down to one team.
Mm-hmm.
They previously had 3 or 4, so they got down to 1, and it wasn't looking good. And we did a fair bit. Fair play to the council. They come to the party. And they've been really good.
Yep.
We've got this facility, and it's been the best thing that's happening to Mandurah by a long way.
Yeah, and it's amazing when you have a home. You can build a base. So that's something a lot of clubs are trying to do, and it'll be one of our challenges in the Cricket Association. But that's cool. That's all good. I mean, it's not all supposed to be rosy and all that sort of stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, I think as an association, we probably we punch above our weight. If you look facilities wise, I mean, you got this place, you got Peelwood, we've got the brand new one at Baldivis, which is amazing. You've got Pinjarra, you've got Waroon. You know, you've got some places that are really good. You know, South Mandurah, Stan Twite. We've got some. You know, most clubs have either got something happening or about to happen.
Yeah.
So you know, you've got this place. Pillwood's getting some upgrades. Stan Twite's getting some upgrades. You know what? Pinjarra's getting some upgrades. Some have had new nets. You know, we do okay. You know, so yeah, there's extra things on the wish list, but as a whole, I think we do okay. I mean, we get night cricket on a Tuesday night, playing on turf, under lights. You know, it's live broadcast.
It's good.
Pretty good, and good players want to come play. We only had it last round, so we had Secret Harbour. A player approached them from Premier Cricket saying, "Can I get a game?"
Yeah, right.
So that sort of highlights what's happening. There's players approaching the clubs now saying, "We want to be part of this."
Yeah, I think Teague was watching. He was at the World Cup.
Yep.
In the Caribbean.
Yeah, he was, and he was
watching.
Yeah, he was watching, and yeah. Well, Teague often will send a little message, say, "Hi, I'm watching this, or enjoying it," and all that sort of stuff. And
he loves it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, he's a cricket snuff, isn't he?
Oh, been kind to him, yes.
Yeah. Look, it's been awesome talking to you, John. Thanks for your time today, and thanks for being part of the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show.
No worries. And thanks to Carl and John for being good sponsors. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, they are. They've been fantastic supporters of the show and of the T20 competition, the Retrovision Premier T20 League. I think we've got something special there, and it's only going to build and grow and grow. Yep. So yeah. Okay. So thanks, John.
Okay, appreciate it.
Okay, so that's John Wiley, big legend of the Mandurah Cricket Club. I mean, there's not many players that have got former players that have got a stand named after them. So highlights the significance of the man and his contribution to this club. You are on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show, proudly brought to you by Retrovision, ESA Sport and Everlast Sports Drinks. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everyone. The Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show, as usual, proudly supported by our fantastic partners in Retrovision, ESA Sports and Everlast Sports Drinks. Our next panelist, I guess, our next guest here on the show is someone that a lot of you watching have probably seen around the fields here of the PCA, and that's Jeremy Leatherbarrow, who is the current B-grade captain for Mandurah. You've taken a little bit of a step back with your playing commitments. So thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, no problem, Razia. It's good to be here. And yeah, the body's sort of given up, so be great it is for me.
So Jerry's left-hand bat made a lot of runs. I'm sure a lot of you listening or watching have probably been on the receiving end of him smashing around the ground somewhere along the way. Although I just sort of said, you know, you're still playing in the competition. He goes, well, that's a pretty loose term. So it is early season though, mate.
Yeah, it is, mate. And you said I'm a bat, but I'm actually a bowler that bats a bit. I just can't bowl anymore.
Okay, bowler that bats a bit.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
Okay, just take the plaudits. Okay. So what we need to do at this stage of the show is actually we're going to go through some of the results, and as Jeremy's still a current player, can sort of help give a bit of an insight into how things are sort of going, and maybe even some of the players that have done well as we sort of go through the results. Obviously, last weekend. It decided to rain a little bit, and as I've noticed since living here in WA, which is now 11 and a half years or so, it amazes me how no one really knows how to deal with it. It's just phenomenal. I mean, you're a Tassie boy, so you'd be the same. You'd be sort of thinking like, Jesus, man, it's not, you know, not that bad.
Well, yeah, as a bloke who grew up in Tassie, you know, everyone had covers, and if it rained, it was no big deal. You just played through it sometimes, and other times you played on decks that were spicy, very underdone. And then I rocked up here, went to Kalgoorlie, and you know, no covers there.
Yep,
mind you,
probably don't need them out there.
You didn't need them a great deal, but when it rained hard, and it didn't rain for long, but it rained hard enough, so you missed games. And then came down here, went, oh yeah, down here, close back to the metro area, there'll be some covers here. No such thing.
Yep.
And then our guys here on the weekend, we had the covers out, and you know, a few holes in that no one knew was there, and game over before she started. So not ideal.
No, and that's the thing with covers as well. It's knowing how to use them and all that sort of stuff. Look, that's a conversation for another day. So if we go into A grade, and funnily enough, the Wiley Cup just had John Wiley here before. Every game was a washout other than one, and that was Shoalwater v Waroona. So they were at Stan Twite, and as president, you're sort of doing a lot of work on a Saturday morning when it's raining and everyone's, what are we doing and how does it work and all that sort of stuff. You go, well, umpires will go to the ground and they'll make the call. I mean, that's what normally happens, everyone. Anyway, so Stand Tight was fine. They didn't really get much rain there. It was I don't know, a tropic. It must be the tropics of Stand Tight.
It was quite different there because our B grade were there. So I was there with the B grade boys and we were right next door and we didn't have a drop of rain at all.
Yeah.
I drove into the ground, got there at about 11:30 because I wasn't playing. So rocked up at 11:30 and it rained the whole way. And basically as soon as I got to Twight, that stopped. And we basically had a mist that just hung around for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And sort of stopped us getting on, which was a bit controversial if you like wanted to get on a bit earlier. But once we got on, there was no rain at all, and the decks were bone dry. It looked like they'd had covers on them all night.
Yeah,
it was different.
So weird, isn't it? Anyway, the A grade game that was there, the only A grade game played this weekend past. Shoalwater lost to Waroona. So Shoalwater 5 for 175. Dudley Cortland, my favourite left-hander anyway. Sorry, mate. Probably a little bit more stylish than you. 57 he got out of 175, and but Waroona were the team that got over the line. 5 for 179 in reply, and surprise, Benny Wright 64, classy player.
Yeah, that was down to 41 overs I think in the end as well. Yep. So 170 odd is going to be a good score in 40 overs, and Benny just did what Benny does, scored runs. I was, as I said, next door watching, and he made it look pretty easy at times. But I thought, Waroona 170, I thought they probably could have got more than that where they were at one stage. They're looking at getting 200 plus and sort of, fell in a bit of a hole there through the middle and later overs. And, Shoalwater did a great job to keep the 170.
Yep. So Waroona getting that win there. They had the bye last week, so good for them. And look, I mean, I guess for Waroona, it gives them a little bit of a heads up with the, everyone else not playing and all that sort of stuff. But that's just cricket. That's what happens. Not much you can do there. We go into the Macintosh Cup, which is our B grade competition. Warnbro and White Knights, that was a washout, unfortunately. But the other games got off. And we might as well do your game, eh?
Yeah, why not? Let's keep it brief like the game was.
So Shoalwater 3 for 106. They obviously chased your 103 all out.
Yeah, it was one of those things like we had a pretty strong side in, and I think a few of the guys got a bit carried away with the strength we had in the side and left it up to too many blokes. And said, next bloke will do it. And no one really did it. Was lucky enough to have Brendan Diamante play his first game for the club on the weekend, scored 40.
Yeah. I was going to say, it's not often you get an international that just rocks up and plays in your B grade.
Well, there was 2 former internationals playing for our B grade on the weekend. Chris Chalou.
Oh, yeah, Chris,
played for Nepal. So Nepal, pretty sure it was Nepal. And obviously BD with playing for the Kiwis. So 2 internationals and got done. So 103 wasn't going to be enough. And credit to Shoalwater, they came to the game, hadn't won a game yet, but obviously defending champs and were a very strong side. And I think a few of our guys probably relaxed a little bit too much and took it a bit too lightly. But we probably try not to make that mistake again.
And Webster got 49 not out for Shoalwater there.
Looked very good too. That was a great knock by Seb.
So did you give him a captain spray at the end of it, mate, or?
No, we sort of got out of there because everyone was half frozen. It was pretty arctic. It was pretty arctic down there at Twight. That breeze was howling across, and there was blokes wanting to field in hoodies and whatever else. I was wearing shorts and t-shirt, being a Tassie boy, but everyone else was keen to go home. So it was beach weather, mate.
Okay, so we go to the next game, and this is these guys are building up a fair rivalry these days. North Baldivis and the Rockingham Hornets. And in that game there, we had North Baldivis 6 for 158. They defeated Rockingham 9 for 152. So Dhaliwal got 45 for North Baldivis, and Galvin got 60 not out for Rockingham.
Yeah, so they're probably 2 of the strongest sides in the B grade for the last 3 or 4 years. Then credit to them, they've been there about that time, and it was always going to be a pretty tight game. North Baldivis coming off a loss the week before.
Yep.
And Rockingham undefeated up to that point, so it was a really good game, and you could see there's quality right through both those sides, and it was a really tight game. So well done to Rockingham.
And North Baldivis are making a bit of a habit of getting these tight games. I think the last 3 games they've had have been right down to the wire sort of thing. So well done for them for the win. And Dhaliwal, that's his 2nd or 3rd, solid contribution.
Yeah, he scored runs in most games. I think the only failure was against our boys, and apparently he got a good one early on, and that can get most blokes out, isn't it?
Yep, not that well. You can, and in the last game there, bit of a one-sided affair, unfortunately. Hall's Head. Well, geez, my typing on my my social tiles. I'm sorry, everyone, but anyway, I think 8 for 252, which James Rudge made 50. That's captain of the A grade's younger brother, who's out here from the UK. Played as a batter in that game. He made 50 out of 252, and Pinjarra all out for 114 with Morley getting 4 for 5. They're pretty handy figures.
Yeah, you'd take that most weeks, wouldn't you? You know, Pinner in a rough spot this year. You know, rebuilding a little bit. Their A grade still, you know, still pretty strong. They've got some good depth in the A grade.
Yep.
The B grade falls away pretty quickly. And we played them a few weeks ago and had a chat to a few of their guys. And they've still got some really good players, but they do fall away. And it's a good chance for some of the younger guys to get some good experience and
Yep.
you know, set them in a good stead for future years. So
Yeah. Well, you have that some years. I mean, it's just
everyone goes through it.
yeah, it's just what it is. It's sport. It's not all supposed to be level and equal. Sometimes it is a bit tough, but
That's it.
look, you're there to play and have fun, and that's what.
And that's it. Like we played them a couple of weeks ago, as I said, and like it wasn't quite that one-sided, but it was a pretty one-sided game, and everyone enjoyed themselves and had fun and got together after the game, had a beer.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? So
Yeah, it's a recreation on a Saturday, something to
that's
do.
it.
Get you out of the house.
Get away from the wife and kids, isn't it? Hope my missus is listening to this.
Oh, dearie me. Good luck. We'll go to Seagrave, Jeffrey Cup here. So we've got Mandurah. They lost to White Knights. So White Knights got 206, of which Pearson got 59 not out. And Roby for Mandurah got 4 for 34. And then Mandurah all out for 131. And Pearson took 4 for 9. So he's had a pretty good game.
Decent all-round game, that, isn't it? You know, it's always good. You see, you know, it happens a lot through the lower, middle and lower grades where you got those guys that bat and bowl.
Mhm.
It's an all-rounders game as you go down through, and you've got those guys who either good young kids coming through or older guys with experience coming back through the other side. And yeah, there's a lot of those all-round figures come through. But yeah, our C grade, we're looking for a win. We've got a pretty strong C grade side in, and you know, Jack Bors played a bit of A grade, played C grade last week as a player for a couple of weeks, and I'd like to mention he did get lidded by a C grader last week.
Okay, we're back. We just had a little mishap there. Anyway, we're back. So we were on Mandurah v White Knights. So White Knights 206 beat Mandurah 131. We'll go to South Mandurah. Had their first win of the season. South Mandurah 5 for 185. Defeated Shoalwater 6 for 180. Sears got 101 not out there. So it's always good to see centuries made there. And South Mandurah obviously having their, you know, they're having a bit of a rebuilding time themselves. So it's really good to see them get off the mark there.
It is for sure. It's always sad to see clubs go through what Souths are going through this year. You know, lost a heap of players and, you know, really struggled to find some numbers and, you know, to get a win and, you know, with like getting 100 there, it's always great. Any 100's good. So
yeah, fantastic. And Hettle got 56 for Shoalwater. We got Secret Harbour Dockers. They lost to North Baldivis. The Secret Harbour Dockers all out for 134. Someone there hadn't put the scores in by the time I did this. So naughty. North Baldivis 217. Defeated Secret Harbour Dockers all out for 134. And surprise, one of my favourite players, the highlight reel himself, Vikas Kantra, 113. It did that in not many balls, as you'd imagine. For those that know the way Vikas plays, he's all about, he's the highlight reel. He's the walking highlight reel.
as it should be. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't go out there to block it, do you? Let's go. You know, you're not going to score runs by blocking it back down the pitch. You got to hit them.
Nah, and he likes playing attacking cricket. He's inspired by the T20, I'm presuming. So well done, Vikas. I'm sure there'll be another one or two of those somewhere along the line. So well done to the North Baldivis boys. And in the final game in C grade, I think this one had a little bit of it was a bit of a special game because Andy Peckover played his 8th squillionth game, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 9 squillionth actually. Like,
Yeah.
Credit to him. Like, he's an absolute ripper bloke, an absolute genuine competitor. So,
He is, and he was able to pull together a bit of a team of teams.
I was talking to a few of Singo's boys a couple of weeks ago, and they said he was pulling in a few of the old boys to come in and have a game with him and to celebrate his milestone. So good on him. Well done to Pecky, and well done to Singo's boys for getting around him.
So they got 227, and they defeated Hall's Head all out for 225. So that's a close one.
Oh,
So
it's close.
it was a real close game there. So Anthony Burke got 80. Griffiths got 5 for 31 for Hall's Head there in Singleton's 227, and in 225 Smith got 56 for Hall's Head. So it would have been a ripper of a game, that one.
It would have been. You know, it doesn't matter what grade you play. If you get in a close game, it's always good, isn't it? You know, you get people there watching it, and everyone gets involved in it. It's good fun to watch. So
yeah, 100%. We go to D grade. So we've got White Knights. They made 7 for 1, 5-1, and they defeated Waroona 126. So Patel got 42 for White Knights, and in 126 White Knights, two of their bowlers, Luke Gray 4 for 27, and Grobbelaar. I can't help thinking Liverpool kit keeper.
Go straight into my head.
4 for 20. So those two didn't leave much for everyone else. So good bowling.
It's a bit greedy, really, isn't it?
Yeah, bit greedy there. So so White Knights get the win over Waroona there. Rockingham Warnbro, they had a washout on synthetic. That's a new one. But anyway, must have been very wet.
We obviously weren't anywhere near Stan White.
We weren't there, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Singleton had the bye, and the last game, Shoalwater, they lost to Halls Head. So Shoalwater 7 for 198. A couple of guys got 50, so rare that the two guys get 50s and you lose. But Ward got 68 not out, and Otto got 54. But Halls Head 8 for 212, which Jeffrey got 63 of those.
Well, that's it. They get basically 200 there, so 200's not going to lose you many games.
Yeah.
Like it's in a 45 over game especially. So you could chase down 200 there or get over 200 to win the game. 212 to 198, you said. So
So that's another close game.
That's another close game. 15 runs either side.
Yeah,
can
but
go
it's
anywhere,
not
really.
not often that the losing team has two guys make half centuries.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often.
We go to E grade. E grade. So we had Halls Head 8 for 151, but they lost to the Dockers, the Secret Harbour Dockers, who got 8 for 181. Edwards got 53 of those. King, well, he's another greedy guy. So he got 57 for Halls Head batting in their 151, and then he took 5 for 47.
Just blokes just make it unfair for everyone else, aren't they? Just everyone else come out for a game on a sad day and can't do anything. Someone else doing it. But in all honesty, credit, getting runs and wickets, it's a good game, isn't it?
That's a pretty good game. Do you retire after that? After things like that?
Oh, you think about it. Sure. I'm thinking about it now and I haven't done anything.
You can only go down from there. Warnbro had the bye in E grade this week. Pinjarra, they lost to White Knights. So White Knights 4 for 213. We had another century here. Van Zeel got 114 and Vinkovic got 54. So that would have been a bit of a partnership there. 160. Well, I'm presuming they would have batted a fair bit together there.
You'd assume so, yeah.
And Pinjarra all out for 113. So big win there for the White Knights guys there. 100-run win. And North Baldivis lost to Mandurah. So North Baldivis all out for 112. Mandurah 171. Now this guy, every week.
Can't play about young Steve. I call him. He's getting old now, but he goes all right. He bats well, bowls well. And just a genuine good bloke, really.
Yeah.
I'd hate to admit, I hope he's not listening. I don't tell him he's a good bloke, but he is.
That's his second score. I mean, doing this for the last couple of years, I reckon I'm calling his name every other week.
Yeah, that'd be pretty common. And it was a big game for him. On the weekend. He got to play with his young fella for the first time, which is pretty good. We had 3 guys at Mandurah last week play their first games with their sons. So, which was a pretty big day for the club. So
yeah, Dave Chisholm did.
Yeah, Dave Chisholm in F grade with his young fella, and Brendan Diamante with his young fella in the B grade. So, was big thing on the club. So it's always I know I play with my old man when I was a young fella coming through, and I'm hoping in a few years' time to play with my boys as they come through as well. So
so you've got to stick around, mate.
Well, that's the plan. I'm gradually going to go down the grades. My oldest boy's 27, so I've got a bit of while. He's playing under 10s now, so got a little bit of time to make sure I get down there, I guess.
Ward got 59 and Pelham took 4 for 31 for North Baldivis.
Yeah, Lukey Ward 50 odd. It's his first year at the club, and probably should be playing a little bit higher, to be honest. But had a couple of strong sides last week, and he went down. I think he hit 6 sixes in his 50 odd last week. So it's 50 odd off 30 something rocks, and I don't think he died wondering too much at his first 6. And then I'm away here and away he went.
That's a good way to go. F grade, we had Singleton. They made 6 for 213. Edwards got 58. Case 54 not out. He got some runs last week as well. And they were way too strong for Shoalwater all out for 46. And Harrison got 4 for 8 there.
Touch up, isn't it?
That's a little bit of a touch up there.
It's not what you want to see, but it does happen. As we said before, it's not everything can be even, not everything can be tight. There's going to be those sides
and
F
really
grade,
strong. And F grade is a social sort of grade, and some weeks you're going to have a stronger side, some you're not, and it's so be it. I mean, I know they've played in really good spirits anyway.
That's it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. There's plenty of times I've seen scorecards and guys have retired, like they've had a hit. They've gone, it's okay. I'll give someone else a hit.
The first 100 I saw in the Peel comp was John Wiley. He was playing, I think he was playing D grade. And I was playing next. It was at Warmer. I played next door on the turf, and he was playing next door. And he got his 100 and retired and walked off. He said, "Oh, I've had enough." Yeah. And legend of the game, could have got probably could have got 1,000. The way it was batting, he made it look pretty easy. And so no, that's enough for me, and gave everyone else a go, which is what it's all about, especially down those lower grades where, got some kids coming through and looking after those kids, and what it's all about. So.
No, 100%. We had another washout. So Halls Head Rockingham had a washout. Mandurah, 186 all out. They lost to White Knights Baldivis. You got 6 for 201. Brewer again playing F grade. I'm not.
He's a handy F grade stick.
He played a bit of vet stuff with him last year, and I thought, he got 92, so he's on a bit of form. I did give him a bit of stick online, part of a chat group, and I said, mate, F grade, you come on.
That's what it is. Like as you get older, you get down the grades, and he's a good bloke. I've had a couple of games against him in the past, and he's a good guy. So he's going to get 90 odd, but it was good. Our F grade boys in the Mandurah, we've only had a side for the last couple of weeks. We had some good numbers, so decided to put extra side in, and it's basically two or three guys above 20, and all the rest are our juniors coming through. So I know young Gage got some runs, I think, on the weekend.
78.
Yeah, I think he's played 2 games. I think he's got a 40 odd and a 70 odd in his 2 games. He plays under 17s, plays Rocky Mandurah under 17s. He's a good kid coming through, and that's it. We've got some good guys, good young kids coming through. That's what we brought the F grade in to give those young kids an extra chance. Because you play juniors and it's it's good, it's fun, but then you can't play some seniors and it's a different ball game again. You're playing against guys that have played a lot of cricket, and Brewer there himself played a lot of cricket. All of a sudden, some of these kids are bowling to a guy that's played 30, 40 plus years of cricket, and you're learning all the time. So
100%. And stock standard in this competition. We had another tie. I've never been around cricket that's had so many ties.
I played in 2 weeks once. It was ridiculous. The first grade cricket in Tasman played in 2 weeks. But there always it seems to be a tie every couple of weeks.
That's ridiculous.
Crazy.
So we had Warnbro and White Knights Gold. So White Knights got 2 teams in F grade. So White Knights Gold, they tied on 151 apiece. Rick Smith Ince, he's stock standard, gets a century somewhere along the line in the season. He got his stock standard 107. And for White Knights Gold, Wild Smith took 6 for 14.
Yeah, I know Rick a bit played against him in Kalgoorlie when he was up there, and when I was up there for a couple of years, and he won the B grade batting average and was too good for B grade up there, and came in and played A grade finals. Their B grade got knocked out because he was too good. But once again, he's one of those guys that's played a lot of cricket, very experienced. Could probably play higher than F grade again, but if he's down there looking after kids and teaching kids how to play, that's what it's all about.
I think he's looking after his knees. I think his knees are no good.
His knees aren't great. They haven't been for a while. But he's a good bloke, Rick. And credit to him. Doesn't matter what grade you're playing, 100's 100.
So 100%, but he's good for 100 at least. One
or 2 a year. He's
scored
a few over the time.
Last but certainly not least, just the ladies played their second round. So we had Warnbro. They defeated Mandurah. That big win there for Warnbro, and that included Heinsohn getting 30 there. So your girls are normally pretty strong. So
been pretty strong the last couple of years, and they're really looking to push a bit this year. So they're a little bit disappointed so far this year. They're not going as well as they'd like. But I don't think everyone ever feels they're going as well as they'd like, are they? So
you're never as good or as bad as what you might think.
I think it's a thing as well. Last year they were sort of the best side most of the year and peaked a bit early. So I think this year they're sort of easing in a bit and trying to build up. That's what I'm going to say anyway. So good luck to them anyway.
Yeah. Well done to Warnbro there. Shoalwater defeated South Mandurah. So South Mandurah, the reigning champs. So Shoalwater, that's a big win there. 133 beats 126, and Hutton got 51 not out. So well done there.
Good knock.
Pinjarra defeated White Knights quite comfortably there, and Halls Head got the win because unfortunately Secret Harbour couldn't get a team up this week.
It's always sad, but it does happen from time to time.
It does happen. So just before we go, this coming Sunday, we've obviously got a lot of cricket happening on the Saturday, but Sunday, first round of the Belt Up Country Cup. So we're going down to play Bunbury District Cricket Association.
Pretty strong top, so.
It is, game. And we've got a pretty good side out. So just look on the socials there. You'll see the announced team on the announced squad, and hopefully they get through Saturday, which means we'll have the team on Sunday.
It's always a tricky one, isn't it?
It's always a tricky one, but So we'll be supporting them, and we're hoping that it'll be live on Frogbox as well. So look out for that. Look out for details on the PCA Facebook page. Jeremy, thank you very much for co-hosting this section, mate. The important one, and getting your insight is brilliant. Helps getting a current player to sort of pass on some of the inside information, all that sort of stuff?
I'm not sure how much information I have. I sort of just dribble a bit of crap that comes out of my mouth from time to time and just start talking and see what happens.
That's cricket, though, mate. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do, and we try to pretend that we know what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, no one really knows.
That's it. If you pretend hard enough, people start to believe you.
It's like when people go out before the game and go and press the wicket and all that. So I just think, well, do you actually know what you're looking at? Because most have got no idea.
No, most. Yeah, that's funny. You see it all the time. You see guys, oh gee, we've got to bat on that. Really? Why? It's covered in grass. It's green and it's damp. Why would you bat on that?
Yeah.
Or the other way. Sometimes it's people want to bowl and it's like, oh, it's pretty soft there. It's probably going to do a bit. It'll probably do too much and get a bit of sun on dry and it'll probably be harder later. It's one of those things that it takes a lot of experience to try and read wickets, and then it doesn't matter how much you played, you still get it wrong.
Oh, 100%. I know the back end of my career, I didn't even bother. Go to what's the point?
I only have to look at it now because I have to go out and have a toss and decide. Mind you, I don't win many, so normally I just do what I'm told. But every now and then I have to win one and go, I guess we'll bat.
Dear. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on board today, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me.
Jeremy Leatherbarrow, who's the current B grade captain here at Mandurah Cricket Club. You're on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show, proudly supported by Retrovision, ESA Sport, and Everlast Sports Drinks. We'll be back to wrap it up very, very soon.
At Retrovision, we know exactly what you want, like our lowest price guarantee. Buy now and pay later, and an extra 5% discount for RAC members. That's on top of all the latest tech from the world's best brands at Retrovision.
Welcome back to the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show, proudly supported by our wonderful partners all over there. You can see them there. Retrovision. Remember to get into Retrovision. Save more money every day. And if you're an RAC member, remember you get an extra 5% off their already low prices with a 60-day price promise. Everlast Sports Drinks. Now, clubs, if you haven't got them in your fridge, you're crazy. Johnny Sanders will look after you. He's at ESA Sports, but he also distributes the Everlast Sports Drinks. The deals you can get, they're going to be fantastic. Not only you got a great product, but also going to support your club, and ESA Sports make every sporting moment epic. So we're wrapping up the show here. We were live today from the Mandurah Cricket Club. We had fantastic guests on the show. We had Ned Engel, who's leading the centenary celebrations. We had John Wiley, who's a legend of the club, and his family are synonymous with the competition. Not only has he got a grandstand named after him here, but the family's got a cup that the A grade play for as well, named after them. And we just had Jeremy Leatherbarrow as well, who's the current B grade captain. Has played a lot of A grade as well, and he was able to give us a bit of an insight into the scores and how some of the clubs are going and all that sort of stuff. So we'll be back on Tuesday with Retrovision Premier T20 League action. We've got the last game of round one, which is a bit of a local derby in a way, Pinjarra versus Waroona. So that'll be live and exclusive on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket channel, which is our YouTube channel. Tune in there from 6:30. You'll get live and exclusive coverage with some commentary from this bloke here. And expecting a really, really good game there. And that'll end round one. And then we get into the business end of the Retrovision Premier T20 League, again, proudly supported by Retrovision. Sunday, as I mentioned, the first round of the Beltup Country Cup, Peel Cricket Association versus Bunbury District Cricket Association. Hay Park in Bunbury, good ground, really good wicket there. Probably one of the better ones running around in country cricket. So we've been able to put out a pretty strong squad. I haven't got it right here in front of me, unfortunately, but if you look us up on our Facebook page, you will see that. Remember, Saturday, you could be listening to this right now, between 8 and 9 on Sport FM 91.3, the home of community sport in Perth and surrounding regions. We're very proud to be partnering with Sport FM. So if you are listening on the radio as you're driving around on 91.3 Sport FM, welcome. And otherwise, you can pick us up on any of your social platforms. You can pick us up on Spotify, Google Playlist, Apple, etc., etc. Please rate, review, share, subscribe, all that sort of stuff really, really helps us, really helps the show to grow and helps us to grow as a competition, because we might be able to also attract some more sponsorship and all that sort of stuff. We get coverage in the Mandurah Mail. Go to our website where we're trying to build that. So if you've got any ideas or anything you want to see on the show, please let us know. Just drop me a line, president@peelcricket.com. That's president@peelcricket.com. Well, that's pretty much a wrap there. My name's Orazio Santolucia. I've been your host this week and every week on the Pavilion, the Peel Cricket Show. We'll be back next week. Adios.